Hey guys, how's it going, Purple Heart Firework family? We are at the Pyrotechnics Fest. Jeremy and I are up here in Dallas, right?
Cato Mills,
Texas. Guys, we are learning how to build fireworks today, how to put them together, how they work, how they operate. Look at what is that, Jeremy?
This is a rocket.
We're gonna learn how to make those today. Oh my gosh, look at these rockets, guys. Look at this stuff. So what's cool is that we're at a place where we can build these without getting in trouble. These are not things that you can build at your house. You know, these are fireworks, real fireworks.
Lift charge.
These are lift charges, Jeremy said. What is a
touch a lot of this because it's like this stuff. I'll explain why.
Okay.
I'll explain why.
Great. Here's a lot of the stuff that we're going to be dealing with today as we make these fireworks. This is all the stuff that goes into it. We're going to be learning about these things today. And look at this firework that this gentleman made here. We're going to be lighting this off tomorrow night, and we will have a video here where you can watch this, so stay tuned.
To hold that in place. Okay? So you're ready for some burst. You just get a little bit more and you're gonna have that. Okay?
So these are stars.
Yeah, so it has like the little metal piece in it, so that's why he says they're Skittles, because you don't know what color it will be.
And so okay, so that's...
I just want you to know that as a shell builder, I'm always developing ideas. I see things that just are amazing to me. If you're familiar with SpaceX, Elon Musk created the first returnable first stage. When he did it, they kept landing and blowing up, and people were going, what an idiot, he should never make rockets. They were working, and each time it failed, they were able to use the data to figure out what was wrong. So my shells are like that, okay? The right order, okay? Yeah.
So you put them around the outside, and then put this stuff in the center, the rice carbon in the center, and this allows oxygen to move, to build up pressure and heat.
Got a dollar? In reality, when the shell breaks, the observer will not notice those few stars missing. Okay?
You're trying to make sure that it's even across, that no stars are sticking up above this lip, and the stars are these.
You're gonna then, I also use
These
my
are metal
pound
balls
to
that
move
have
it
color
out
that are
of the
wrapped in
All right.
gunpowder.
Take it over there and pound it to flatten it. Okay.
This is the filler.
Shell building can release energy. Release stress. You pound.
Now we're going to put the glue around the sides here. And then put this paper mache
Like I'm playing poker here.
over the top. And let that dry so we can stick it on top of this one.
Okay.
There's
Do you have any paper?
there's napkins right here. Right, look right there. Or paper towels, sorry.
Yeah, we can use that. We can use that.
Batter.
before walking up to the guns. Because sometimes what happens is the match goes so far and like there could be a gap you don't know about, so it stops burning, okay, and it doesn't light. But the paper is still smoldering.
What is this called again? The rice?
Right there.
It's carbon and like rice or something.
Yeah, so
No, it's called when it
the rice
stops.
Rice balls.
Yeah, so they get rice holes and they coat them in black powder.
Yes.
rice holes, coat them in black.
Okay, this is a
rice
story
holes
that
coated in
happened to
black
me.
powder is what this is.
You're all listening at least? Yep. We did a show. It was done. There were a few.
Yeah,
Are you right-handed?
I am.
Get it close to it. Flip. Okay. I'm gonna line it up. You don't need this tissue paper, right? I tear it down. Okay. So now you can see the edges, right?
Uh-huh.
And you see, it's all pushing together. You might have to push in here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna take this tape. I've done this where I stick it to my chin, to my cheeks. I was out in the desert building them, so go ahead, steal it. There are more. There are more.
Do I tape it down?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Like this. Okay. See how it's lined up? Mm-hmm. Put one across here. Press down hard. Okay. I'm going to turn it a little bit more. Press down. And tape it. Okay. You're going to keep doing that all the way around. You're going to overlap the tape. Okay. So all you see on the seam is the tape.
Okay, so that'll be filled all the way.
Yeah, all the way around.
Right, okay.
100%.
It's just one side. that I
So
have
what we
to
did
cut.
was we taped it all the way around.
Okay, get back over there.
This,
Okay.
This
see
is
it
the shell.
Almost right here. You see how that's together? Looking good? Just like dropping it in there, but you have 65 pounds and you're trying to.
So what happens now, once you make the shell, you fill it with the stars, you fill it with the rice filler, and you put the pieces together, you tape it all the way around. It's going to come over to this machine, and this machine is going to wrap it on the outside. And the reason that it does that is that it makes it sealed tight, so that once the fuse lights up into that gunpowder and the oxygen is going to allow it to expand, and the pressure and the heat is going to rise to thousands of degrees, and it's going to explode. And once it explodes, that's what makes the firework effect that we see in the sky. So I'll show you guys this video, or the video of it rolling these later. We got to go out and prep another show here, so I'll edit all these together, but you'll see what it looks like. It's really cool.
Tissue paper over this. The paper towel. This is a 6.
This is a 6-inch shell that this gentleman just made. He's about to put his paper over it and then put these sides together and make this.
Hole in one.
What?
Hole in one.
Hole in one, man. Good job. Wow, that was amazing. So he compressed it all in his first shot, so he doesn't have to go back and get it. So that's some skill.
These are 8-inch shells.
Wow.
Okay?
That's an 8-inch shell.
That's 8.
What's the one on the ground?
16.
The 16?
Yep. That's the biggest Hemi you can buy in the United States.
Biggest you can buy. And you made them.
I made that.
Yeah.
I made the charcoal.
And then this
all
one's
of
a
it.
10.
Yep. And then inside here is a 6.
And then a 6-inch, which is what we just showed that gentleman. So our instructor made all these. We're gonna load these up. We're gonna shoot them off. We're gonna shoot this off later. We'll show you the video. It's gonna be such a sight to see. Hey guys, I just want to remind you that we are at Pyro Fest up here in Dallas, and so what we're doing is this morning we are learning how to build mortar shells, and we just built our first mortar shells, 3 inches, super cool. And we're about to head out now and set up these massive 16-inch shells, these 10-inch shells, these 8-inch shells, and we're going to go out and fuse everything together and set up all these shows that are going to be light off this evening. And we'll show you all of that footage, all of those videos that are going to be taking place. So super cool. This is a really in-depth behind the scenes of what's going on up here as we learn what it takes to actually go into the fireworks. I mean, literally from the gunpowder to the filling that goes inside of it, to how it explodes, to how it ignites, to the fuses, to putting it all together, to taping it, to gluing it, to letting it dry, to setting it, to then putting it into the mortars as they go up. So super fun experience for us as we learn all this stuff, and for you guys so that you can see all this stuff. So stay tuned here at Purple Heart Fireworks. We love you guys.
This is a class, and classes need records for people to follow.
Yes.
You know? So, you know, for you, if you do this again, you could just review what you've got, and you go, okay, it goes to there, there, there.
Absolutely. Well, people love to see this type of stuff. Hey, would you mind?
Oh, sorry. I hit that by accident.
So these are the shells that we made. They are now getting wrapped.
On a wasp.
Can you kind of give me the rundown here?
It's going to put layers of tape on it, and each layer addresses a certain part of the shell. Okay? So it wraps it all around and gets the layers to it. This is called a wasp. It was invented by Jim Whitman, who's built the 2 biggest shells. He's won the Guinness Book of World Records twice. So it's Whitman's auto pasting, auto paster, excuse me.
Wow.
Okay. And all of this has got a preset in there by computer. So I start the full run, and it runs the tape, and then afterwards you do a burnish layer, and the burnish layer presses the tape down onto the shell.
Okay.
Not yet.
Why does it need this exterior taping?
The exterior taping is because you're building up pressure when the rice hulls inside ignite. Mm-hmm. You want to build up pressure to make the break as big as you can.
Okay, so the pressure builds temperature.
And it also increases the temperature because it cannot break open. The pressure keeps building and building until finally the pressure exceeds what the tape can hold back. And that's when they call it breaks open.
Gotcha, okay. So fascinating.
Before this time, you wrapped them by hand.
Before this machine.
By hand, wet strips, wrap it around, wrap the next one.
Normally this doesn't happen.
And then in the end, it looks like this.
Okay, go ahead, restart.
Here's the top where the fuse will go, so it can light. So basically what's going to happen is they're going to put a fuse in this, you light the fuse is going to burn into this shell here, and what it's going to do is it's going to ignite the rice and the stars that we put in there earlier. And when it
I'm still using
does,
this table for shells.
No, I'm just.
it will build up pressure,
Metal.
and as it builds up, here's the stars. Here's what's inside of the stars, the metal. Now these metal BBs all have different colors to them, and when they heat up, they exude a different color. And then the rice that we put in there earlier, the black rice, this stuff right here, the filler, creates space inside the shell, so whenever and it allows oxygen to expand, and the oxygen burns really hot, really high, really fast, and so it explodes and makes the fireworks that you see in the sky. So super cool. I think this one's fused, right? This one here.
Oh, you're asking.
Are these
Sorry, I
fused?
didn't-
Are these fused?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep, they got their lift cups in.
So these are the lift cups. So this is what you see at the bottom of the shells. And so these are the fuses. that go into lift cups, which go into the shell itself. That is really cool. Can you explain this to me? Like, what is?
Okay.
How do you what are you doing here?
Well, so these are 2 cardboard hemispheres, right? And inside you'll have, usually for like a regular shell, you'll have a layer of stars. So these are more like comets. These are actually quite large. You would need a very large shell for these. I think these are like the rejects. But basically,
Like this.
yeah, exactly. That's probably about the size you would use. So you mix your color comp. We're gonna have a star rolling class tomorrow. But basically, you line it with these, and then some people will put tissue paper and then rice hulls covered in black powder. Some people just put the rice hulls covered in black powder without the tissue paper. You basically fill each half like that, and then you kind of like sit them together, tape them so they hold, and that machine over there actually wraps them in paper.
The wasp.
Yep. Until they're the correct thickness, and that actually, so this has to dry, but this will actually end up, hardening, like paper mache basically. But there's a lot to it. There's
What's in the bottom? Like, what's in the cup?
the cup. It's just black powder. So
Okay.
like, you can use any cup. It's funny. Technically, you actually don't even need a lift cup. That's why we don't really worry about it.
Okay. And so you just fill it with black powder and put the fuse in it, and so as the black powder ignites, it's going to push that air up through that hole, or the pressure.
Well, when the black powder goes, so first off, the weight is, it's usually between 10 and 15% of the weight of the shell for the lift charge. And then so when this lights, this will actually go there instantly. This burns at something like, I want to say it's like 80 feet a second. So it's, for all intents and purposes, instant. When it hits, it'll light that. When the lift charge goes, the expansion, the rapid expansion of the gases are what send it, and the fire portion of it is what lights the time fuse. So in the time fuse, usually it's around 2.2 seconds an inch, but usually you cut off like 10 inches of your time fuse, light it, and time it, so you can math it out and see what it actually is.
Gotcha.
And
so the time fuse is what sticks up from this cup up into.
It just
the ball.
actually, it's just barely outside or just at the shell.
Okay. Yeah.
Some people cross match it. I don't care to. But yeah, so then it'll light that. And
Wow. And then it lights, and then it propels into the air, and it catches that fuse, and then that fuse is what explodes it in the air, and that's when we see the effect of the firework that we see in the sky, right?
yeah, and the goal is to actually have it so that it actually ends up breaking right around apogee. It's okay to have it if it drifts down a little bit, but if it breaks on the way up, you can actually tell that it was blown too early for the lift, because you'll see like a cone, right? Because all that energy is still moving forward. So when it blows, that's still additionally going forward. So you see like a cone almost. And if it's going too far to where it's down, you'll see it droop like a willow. And you can tell if they're not tailed stars. I don't think any of these are. I'm not sure. I don't think John's using tailed stars in this. If they're tailed stars, you can get away with that because you're like, it's a willow, it's fine. But if they're regular stars, the goal is to make it actually blow in like into an actual sphere. So
Wow.
yeah, and once you get into like bigger shells, you can do essentially an inner petal and outer petal. So you'll have 2 spheres. You'll have a sphere within one.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, there's all kinds of different stuff you can do. This is just kind of like intro.
That's so neat.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so that's basically what we do from start to finish on how they're made and how they're packaged and how they're assembled and put together, and then basically we will go out there and put these in the tubes later, and we will shoot these off tomorrow night, right?
Tonight.
Oh, tonight. We will shoot these
I
off tonight.
believe these
so
are tonight.
see you guys later.
Get in here. I'm going to push it down. I'm going to take this.
So that's quick match.
Well, strands of match.
Okay, strands of match.
When it's in the container, when it's in the tube, it's quick match. Now you see, I'm pushing, I'm getting resistance. That means that when this fuse ends, it's going to touch that and ignite it.
Okay.
And because there's a gap in there, it's going to work just like quick match. and it's going to carry down into that burst 50 feet a second. So from the point that that match at the bottom touches, gets lit, it's all 50 feet a second.
And then that's what's going to build up the pressure and the temperature inside of this canister.
This tape does that. This tape resists that expansion of the gases inside the shell.
And so the hot glue just makes it to where that will stay in. And
Well,
then
two
this,
things. Two things. It's known as a dam. And the reason for it is I want to build up a border between the pass fire and the shell and where the fuse goes in. I don't want any energy to get past that time fuse and get in there.
Gotcha.
Because the moment it touches that inner tape, it's not going to be good.
And this right here is the lift.
This is the lift. And so
Change that to 10. Verify it's this. That's 8. Yeah. That's number 10.
I'm going to place that over there, okay?
And what's inside that lift?
Black powder. Okay, straight black powder, okay? And I'm just going to go like this. This is, we want to call commando.
And how do you know how much black powder to put in as the lift?
I've got a layout of what it should be.
Okay, a chart that
I got it from Chris Roth.
Gotcha.
Chris Roth is so detailed. He there we go.
And so that's the end product right there.
Right there.
And now what does it do? Now what do you do with it?
I'm going to set it aside till tomorrow when it gets loaded.
Well, does it need? Is it like a drying process or something, or?
Well, the paper will be drying. It dries really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I get that. I get some
Super
match.
cool.